just going to get a local forecast going. Alaska statewide. This is, somebody was playing with this thing earlier. Weather.gov. Fairbanks, Alaska, climate and past. Oh, what the heck? Well, I guess it doesn't do that. Quick zoom, Alaska statewide. Wow. It's responding to something else. Okay, we're going to stick with getting up the YouTube, Facebook. Got the YouTube. Good evening, YouTube viewers. I'm going to swing a camera around to at least see somewhat of what's going on. And we're giving a pause here to see if it even changes, which I don't see it changing much. Oh, okay, there's one thing. Alrighty, go back to that screen control. Okay, yeah, we had, oh, bam. Okay, this is the, oh, what the? Okay. the Saturday evening news, and got host up there. Bam, that's cool. Boom. And so HOST host Richard Slezak, and go to start broadcast. Boom. And from drought.gov, I'm going to just go back to the government screen here. Oh my. And I'm just going to get a local forecast, and I'm not going to can come back and at another time for the national weather report. And so we're going to go to Stockton, CA. Oh, great. We'd like to welcome your feedback. I don't see the purpose in that. I'm trying to do... It's just fine. Oh, my. And 2, 3, 4. Okay, apparently it's responding now. Alrighty. Let's get a local forecast in here for you. Humidity is at 70% at Stockton Metropolitan Airport, 37 degrees north, 121 degrees west. Yes, there's some minutes and seconds involved in there. It's currently clear and 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, humidity's at 7 miles per hour. Oh, there's no wind. Barometer is at 30.12 inches of mercury. Dew point will be at 37 degrees. Visibility 10 miles. Now, it's tonight's going to be mostly cloudy. 60%, 80% chance of showers tomorrow. Now, tonight's low is going to be 39. Tomorrow's high is going to be 53. Sunday night, showers diminishing. Showers and area fog, then chance of showers and area fog with a low of 42. Monday, We'll start out with patchy fog, then sunny with a high of 57. Monday night, mostly clear with a low of 38. Tuesday, sunny with a high of 55. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a low of 39. New Year's Day, January 1st, 2020, will be partly sunny with a high of 57. And then the first night of the new year, or actually the new year, I guess, could start at the sunset on the 31st. That's the Hebrew way of looking at it. You got the night before the day. Wednesday night, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a low of 43. All right. Let's head on over to the big desk. And we got the webcasting going. I'm going to bring up the audition and really, I guess I could file a lot of things. Oh well. I could just put up a new. Whoop, multi-track session audio file. Untitled. Oh. Strange. Okay, I'm going to put delete here and just put today's date -12-28 Saturday evening news. And we currently have 7:45 p.m. I think that'd be a good time to get started. Bam. Oh, what the heck? Good evening, testing 1, 2, 3, good evening. I'm just, this is that multi-track thing, and I'm going to just put a close on that. Changes, no changes. This is irksome. I'm going to go with new. What's a multi-track session look like? Oh, got to retitle it. So, pardon the cumbersomeness. Actually, I'm not following the procedures I'd normally follow. And maybe that's why things are getting gummed up. Alrighty, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. I don't want that either. Woo! That's bad. That multi-track is way bad. So I'm just going to close it. And what's this other thing here? CD layout? Drag and drop files or CD track range markers here. No, that ain't going to work. So I'm just going to close that. Wow. Oh, what the heck? May as well just go with the audio file style. It does work somewhat, so take 3 on this operation. And work my arm around there. -28 Saturday evening news. And I don't know if this is going to fly or not. In 3, 2, 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't going, wait a minute, maybe if it'll work over here. Record. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Richard Slezak here. It's the Saturday Evening News. Let me take that gain down a little bit. That's a little bit better. All righty. Going to move over to the big table. And we got a mighty fine show for you this evening. Hope my batteries hold out. Oops. Yeah, I forgot my power cord. And it's been a few weeks since I've done a show, so my apologies to you. We're going to be continuing with the Mueller report this evening, and so let me just bend down that. And again, good evening to, let's move the cameras over. That might be a little bit better. Yep. And we might have that. All rightius. And let me crank up L Computer. Takes a while for it to get warmed up. And we're heading back to the Mueller report. Oh, I know what I can do in the meantime. We have sponsors. And looks like our show start time was about 7:50. Although I'm going to double check on that. $7:49. Okay. Yeah, we'll call the show start at 7:48. And with one hand here, let me kind of do some scrolling to get things rolling. Once in a while they do roll. 48 p.m. show start audition. Alrighty, now it's time to go further into the computer. Voila. Alrightius. And once in a while I can find the mouse. I don't put a trap out for it. I guide it with my fingertip on the mouse pad. Dwingy dwingy. And yeah, going to share our sponsors with you. And greetings, Facebook viewers and YouTube viewers. Again, I'm Richard Slezak. This is the Saturday Evening News. We're going to be doing the Mueller report, continuing it. This is episode 26. And Facebook viewers and YouTube viewers, you're familiar. It's been a few weeks, 3. Since I've done a show. We've had some situations here at the station that, well, have required my attention. And so that's sometimes these things realign themselves, so I'm going to go with second documents. Sometimes it's there and sometimes it's elsewhere. I got it from the Washington Post a few months ago. Sure do thank the Washington Post. And, well, there's recent files. It's not doing anything. Maybe if I double click it. Oh, that seemed to kind of help. New folder. Oh, there it is. Yeah, 52719 PDF file. Here we go. And open sesame. That's a good thing. And welcome to the John Moriarty Studios, first-time viewers. Now, I don't know if the camera ain't doing its moving around, so things got kind of changed. That's okay. I don't really want to mess with it right now. We got a camera on me, and so that's good enough. And waiting for response from my file. So one of these days it'll come up. Hopefully before Wednesday. Yeah. And so with that, what'll probably come up first is the Amazon thing that poked its ugly. Oh, well, I stand corrected. The right thing came up. Amazon didn't get to me this time. Yeah, well, we're going to get back at them. Here's some of our local sponsors. We sure do thank you guys. Hotel Furniture Liquidators. Yeah, get furniture for your family. If you got a kid and a roof over your head, get him a bed, a bureau. If you don't have a closet, get him an armoire. You know, something he can hang his or her clothes up in. Don't molest him. Nah. You treat your kid right, okay? Please. You know, like with sugar on top of it. We don't want her going to foster care because you got to spend time in the joint. So behave. Yeah, Hotel Furniture Liquidators. Beds for your families, bed for or yourself, bureaus, so you can, little dignity in your life helps tremendously. They're at 1648 North Shaw Road, nearest cross street east Fremont, just east of 99. Books, yeah, they're good for your brain. They're good for people of all ages. And you can get books at the Miracle Mile Bookstore, 2210 Pacific Avenue, and Doors Book Recyclery at 2310 Pacific Avenue. Plastic has its place. It's not every place, but it's some places. Plastic displays, plastic signage. When it's wore out, put it in the trash. That will go to the landfill. Also, it can be recycled. Some, not all. But that which can be recycled, put it in the recycle bin. But when you need the stuff fresh and new, hey, Custom Plastics and Signs, 326 East Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard, here in Stockton, between Sutter and San Joaquin, on the south side of the street and the south side of town. Head on down. It's a good store. Hey, they fabricate plastic. You got plastic parts on your car, it might be broken in two pieces. They'll make you a new one. Bring it in, they'll measure it, and make you a replica. Accurate, it'll fit. So, yeah, they'll fabricate plastic. And you like the raw, you like the sheets, the rods, the tubes. You got to buy them there. You sure, Bob. Yep, you can get the rods and the tubes and the sheets of plastic. At Custom Plastics and Signs. Signage, got it. Stencils, got it. Vehicle and boat graphics. Hey, you got the vehicle, you got the boat. They'll make you the graphics. Woo, pretty that thing up. T-shirts, they'll print your T-shirt and they'll print your business card. And they'll make displays, plastic displays. Yes, Cerrone. Keep them out of the sun. They last a long time. Plastic in the sun, hey, it gives up some of the molecules, causes it to, a form of drying out. It is made of oil. So it's a hydrocarbon. So it has its place. It's light. But care for it. A lot of plastic can be mended with fibrous tape. So it's got its uses. It has its place. Plastics, good stuff. Computers, computers like the ones we have in here. Millennium Computer Repair. They're mobile. In the 209-922-1879, they'll fix your computer hardware or software. They'll trade parts. They'll trade computers. And the good stuff, virus and spyware removal. If you need a new password, hell, they'll work with you. They'll get it in there. They'll clean things up too. So that's Millennium Computer Repair in the 209-922-1879. The Restore, your alternative hardware and building materials and furniture store. Yeah, they got it. Gently used. It's like a thrift store of building materials and household chemicals and paint. 2x4s known as studs. Hardware, yeah. They might have a bag of nails in there for you. They might have a bag of screws with your name on them. HVAC, electrical apparatus, tools, equipment, furniture, wallboard, paint. Yeah, go and get it. At the Restore, you might come out of there with a sectional sofa, a 2x4, and a bucket of paint. Happy as a clam at moderate prices. Where are they at? 4933 West Lane, 100 yards south of March Lane. Get your tail over there, 4933 West Lane, 100 yards south of March Lane. Yeah, doggies on the west side. Yeah, easy access and egress. The Restore, Habitat for Humanity. Tender Donuts, we bake fresh daily. Yeah, get yourself a dozen as early as 4:30 in the morning, Monday through Saturday. Open at 5:30 and say, yeah, they're going to be open. They're going to be open in about 9.5 hours. They'll be open. Matter of fact, it looks like we got about 8:02 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton, San Joaquin. I'm Richard Slezak. It's Saturday Evening News. And leaders, they're at 1304 Hammer Lane. That's Tender Donuts. We bake fresh daily. Get them. They're good stuff, especially when they're warm. Well, cold morning like tomorrow, get yourself a dozen glazed donuts and that quart of coffee. Bring yourself your super mug. Hit there about 5:30 in the morning. You wire up. Hey! Don't do that too often, okay? Like maybe a monthly, and then the rest of the month you're on salads and, Whole Foods and that sort of thing, Please, if everybody did a little, we'd be okay. But don't overdo it. All righty. Leaders T-shirt and business card printing up in Lodi. 500 East Garfield. 500, wait a minute. 500 East Lodi Avenue at Garfield. All righty-us. Them's our sponsors. All righty. Nothing on the Mueller report. Exonerated Trump. Well, we're just reading it in full here. So episode 26, it's on. We're going to go to page 60. In volume 2, there's only 2 volumes. And we're going to go to volume 2. And we'll scroll down the page. Something like, 73. Oh, my golly. Okay, and then scroll up slowly until we get to 60. I don't want to scroll too fast and miss it. And it takes about a second to scroll through a page. Maybe about a second and a quarter. And we're going backwards. Made it up to 73, and now we're back at 64. Yeah, I graduated from high school in 1973. A prime number in its own right. Yeah, not only 73, but 1973. All righty. Gonna refresh your memory a bit. We stopped at page, that's 58, 59, And we're on... Later that day, the president told senior advisors, and including McCain and Priebus, a while back, that he had reached out to Comey twice in recent weeks. So we're looking back at 1973. Not quite that far. 2017. And continuing, after speaking with the president, McGahn followed up with Bonte to relay the president's understanding that the FBI could make a public announcement if the Department of Justice cleared it. According to McGahn, Bonte responded that he did not want to issue a statement about the president not being under investigation because of the potential political ramifications, and did not want to order Comey to do it because that action could prompt the appointment of a special counsel. Bonte did not recall that aspect of his conversation with McGahn, but did recall telling McGahn that the direct outreaches from the president to Comey were a problem. Bonte recalled that McGahn agreed and said he would do what he could to address the issue. So we're now on page 60. The footnotes indicate they were from Comey, a CNN interview with a dear leader, from Miss Hicks, from Rents, and from Mr. McGahn. So onward, we are now on page 60, resuming, and this is analysis. And analyzing the president's reaction to Sessions' recusal and the requests he made to Coates, who was National Security, Pompeo, as Secretary of State, Rogers, and Comey, the following evidence is relevant to the elements of obstruction of justice. A. Obstructive act. The evidence shows that, after Comey's March 20th, 2017 testimony, the president repeatedly reached out to intelligence agency leaders to discuss the FBI's investigation, but witnesses had different recollection of the precise content of those outreaches. Some ODNI officials recalled that Coates told them immediately after the March 22nd Oval Office meeting that the president asked Coates to intervene with Comey to stop the investigation. But the first-hand witnesses to the encounter remember the conversation differently. Pompeo had no memory of the specific meeting, but generally recalled the president urging officials to get the word out that the president had not done anything wrong related to Russia. Okay, let's start taking some notes here. And see, I got a dark spot. Don't drop your computer, because you'll end up with dark spots on the screen. And it looks like it's 8:06 p.m. And we're on page 60. And the date is 3/20/2017, and we have Dan Coates, he had been a senator from Indiana for a good while, Republican. Dan Coates and Comey. Trump wanted them to stop the Russia investigation. Coates recalled the president asked that Coates state publicly that no link existed between the president and Russia, but did not ask him to speak with Comey or to help end the investigation. The other outreaches by the president during this period were similar in nature. The president asked Rogers if he could do anything to refute the stories linking the president to Russia, and the president asked Comey to make a public statement that he would lift the cloud of ongoing investigation by making it clear that the president was not personally under investigation. Those requests, while significant enough that Rogers thought it important to document the encounter in a written memorandum, were not interpreted by the officials who received them as directives to improperly interfere with investigation. And stop the Russia investigation. Also, Rogers and Pompeo were asked to help stop investigation. B. Nexus to proceeding. At the time of the president's outreaches to the leaders of the intelligence agencies in late March and early April 2017, the FBI's Russia investigation did not yet involve grand jury proceedings. The outreaches, however, came after and were in response to Comey's March 20th, 2017 announcement that the FBI was as part of its counterintelligence mission, was conducting an investigation into Russia's interference in the 2016 presidential election. Comey testified that the investigation included any links or coordination with Trump campaign officials and would include an assessment of whether any crimes were committed. Include an assessment of whether any crimes were committed, which they have done. They've launched a lot of investigations. C. Intent. As described above, the evidence does not establish that the president asked or directed intelligence agency leaders to stop or interfere with the FBI's Russia investigation, and the president affirmatively told Comey that if some satellite was involved in Russian election interference, it would be a good thing to find that out. But the president's intent in trying to prevent Sessions' recusal and in reaching out to Coates, Pompeo, Rogers, and Comey following Comey's public announcement of the FBI's Russia investigation is nevertheless relevant to understanding what motivated the president's other actions towards the investigation. Now let's get this here. And it's Sessions' recusal and reaching out by Trump to stop investig but not directly agencies. Continuing. Okay, we're on page 61 now. The evidence shows that the president was focused on the Russia investigation's implications for his presidency, and specifically on dispelling any suggestion that he was under investigation or had links to Russia. In early March, the president attempted to prevent Sessions' recusal, even after being told that Sessions was following Department of Justice conflict of interest rules. After Sessions recused, the White House counsel's office tried to cut off further contact with Sessions about the matter, although it is not clear whether that direction was conveyed to the president. The president continued to raise the issue of Sessions' recusal, and when he had the opportunity, he pulled Sessions aside and urged him to unrecuse. The president also told advisers that he wanted an attorney general who would protect him, the way he perceived Robert Kennedy and Eric Holder to have protected their presidents. The president made statements about being able to direct the course of criminal investigation, saying words to the effect of, quote, "You're telling me that Bobby and Jack did not talk about investigations? Or Obama did not tell Eric Holder who to investigate?" And on 61, Trump wanted AG to act on Trump's behalf. Continuing. After Comey publicly confirmed the existence of the FBI's Russia investigation on March 20th, 2017, the president was beside himself, quote unquote, and expressed anger that Comey did not issue a statement correcting any misperception that the president himself was under investigation. The president sought to speak with Acting Attorney General Bonte directly and told McGahn to contact Bonte to request that Comey make a clarifying statement. The president then asked other intelligence community leaders to make public statements to refute the suggestion that the president had links to Russia, but the leaders told him they could not publicly comment on the investigation. On March 30th and April 11th, against the advice of White House advisers who had informed him that any direct contact with the FBI could be perceived as improper interference in an ongoing investigation, so the president made personal outreaches to Comey, asking him to lift the cloud, quote unquote, of the Russia investigation by making public the fact that he, the president, was not possibly under investigation. Evidence indicates that the president was angered by both the existence of the Russian investigation and the public reporting that he was under investigation, which he knew was not true based on Comey's representations. The president complained to advisers that if people thought Russia helped him with the election, it would detract from what he had accomplished. Now, that's something. It would detract from what he had accomplished. Yes. Russia detracts from Trump's accomplishments. Accomplishments. Alrightius. Other evidence indicates that the president was concerned about the impact of the Russia investigation on his ability to govern. The president complained that the perception that he was under investigation was hurting his ability to conduct foreign relations, particularly with Russia. The president told Coates he don't break anything, can't do anything with Russia, unquote. He told Rogers that the thing with the president told Coates he can't do anything with Russia. He told Rogers that the thing with the Russians, those are both quotes, was interfering with his ability to conduct foreign affairs, and he told Comey that he was trying to run the country and the cloud of the Russia business was making that difficult. Okay, that's a good closer. Trump trying to run the country and Russia investigation in one half was making that difficult. Whoa. Alrighty, on to page 62. D. Events leading up to and surrounding the termination of FBI Director Comey. Let me get a time check. Boom. Okay, show start was at 7:48. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And looks like we're at 32 minutes on the audition. So things are going well there. And, oh, I need to get something rolling back here. Yeah, get our show emblems up there for you to see. All right. Saturday night, here at the Voice of Stockton, John Moriarty's studio, and we got 8:21 p.m. And now we're on page 62, volume 2 of the Mueller report. And Comey was scheduled to testify before Congress on May 3rd, 2017. Leading up to that testimony, the president continued to tell advisors that he wanted Comey to make public that the president was not under investigation. At the hearing, Comey declined to answer questions about the scope or subjects of the Russia investigation and did not state publicly that the president was not under investigation. 2 days later, on May 5th, 2017, the president told close aides he was going to fire Comey. Oh my! There it is, page 62 on 5/5/2017. Trump told aides he was going to fire Comey, that done. 5/9/2017. Using his official termination letter to make public that Comey had on 3 occasions informed the president that he was not under investigation, the president decided to fire Comey before receiving advice or a recommendation from the Department of Justice, but he approved an initial public account of the termination that attributed it to a recommendation from the Department of Justice based on Comey's handling of the Clinton email investigation. After Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein resisted attributing the firing to his recommendation, the president acknowledged that he intended to fire Comey regardless of the DOJ recommendations and was thinking of the Russia investigation when he made the decision. The president also told the Russian foreign minister, "I just fired the head of the FBI. He was crazy, a real nut job. I faced great pressure because of Russia. That's taken off. I'm not under investigation." And Trump fired Comey to end Russia investigation. Evidence. Comey testifies before the Senate Judiciary Committee and declines to answer questions about whether the president is under investigation. May 3rd, 2017, Comey was scheduled to testify at an FBI oversight hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee. McGahn recalled that in the week leading up to the hearing, the president said that it would be the last straw if Comey did not take the opportunity to set the record straight by publicly announcing that the president was not under investigation. The president had previously told McGahn that the perception that the president was under investigation was hurting his ability to carry out his presidential duties and deal with foreign leaders. At the hearing, Comey declined to answer questions about the status of the Russia investigation, stating the Department of Justice had authorized him to confirm that the Russia investigation exists, but that he was not going to say another word about it until the investigation was completed. Comey also declined to answer questions about whether the investigation had ruled out anyone in the Trump campaign as potentially a target of the criminal investigation, including whether the FBI had ruled out the President of the United States. Oh my. And let's see, page 62. Evidence, okay. Russia investigation. Hearing and oversight of the FBI before the Senate Judiciary Committee, and that was back during the 115th Congress, is footnote 380, or 363, 384, McGahn, 385, McGahn believed that that two foreign leaders had expressed sympathy to the president for being under investigation. righty. And then hearing on FBI oversight before Senate Judiciary Committee. Testimony by Comey. Comey repeated this point. Okay. Questions with Blumenfield and such like. Blumenthal. All rightius. Okay, investigators had ruled out anyone in the Trump campaign as potentially a target of the criminal investigation, including whether the FBI had ruled out the President of the United States. And page 63, that's pretty much people ruled out of investigating. Alrighty. Comey was also asked at the hearing about the decision to announce 11 days before the presidential election that the FBI was reporting to Mrs. Claus about reopening the Clinton email investigation. Comey stated that it made him mildly nauseous to think that we might have had some impact on the election, but added that even in hindsight he would make the same decision. He later repeated that he had no regrets about how he had handled the email investigation and believed he had done the right thing at each turn. In the afternoon following Comey's testimony, the president met with McGahn, Sessions, and Sessions' chief of staff, Jody Hunt. At that meeting, the president asked McGahn how Comey had done in his testimony about, oh my, that don't make no sense. The president became very upset and directed his, in the afternoon following Comey's testimony, the president met with McGahn, Sessions, and Sessions' chief of staff, Jody Hunt. At that meeting, the president asked McGahn how Comey had done in his testimony, and McGahn relayed that Comey had declined to answer questions about at some point I had no regrets here. Done the right thing. At the meeting, President asked how Comey had done his testimony. The president became upset and directed his anger at Sessions. According to notes written by Hunt, the president said, This is terrible, Jeff. It's all because you recused. AG is supposed to be the most important appointment. Kennedy appointed his brother. Obama appointed Eric Holder, and yet I helped make parts. All righty, time to flip it over. The president said that the recusal was unfair and that it was interfering with his ability The president said that the recusal was unfair and that it was interfering with his ability to govern and undermining his authority with foreign leaders. Sessions responded that he had no choice but to recuse, and it was a mandatory rather than a discretion decisions. All right. Sessions recused. All right. Hunt recalled that Sessions also started onward to page 64. At some point during the conversation that a new start at the FBI would be appropriate and the president should consider replacing Comey as FBI director. According to Sessions, when the meeting concluded, it was clear that the president received no FBI director but Sessions did not think the president had made the decision to terminate Comey. Oh my, sounds ominous. Looks like we got about 8:35 here at the Voice of Stockton. And we're just finishing up page 63. On to page 64 now. Bannon recalled that the president brought Comey up with him at least 8 times on May 3rd and May 4th, 2017. According to Bannon, the president said he thinks May 3rd, May 4th. According to Bannon, the president said the same thing each time. He told me 3 times, I'm not ordering you under investigation. He's a showboater. He's a grandstander. I don't know any Russians. There was no sophistication. There was no collusion. Bannon told the president that he could not fire Comey because that ship had sailed. Bannon also told the president that firing Comey was not going to stop the investigation, cautioning him that he could fire the FBI director but could not fire the FBI. All rightiest. Good line. Could not fire FBI. All righty. We're here on page 64. The president makes the decision to terminate Comey. The weekend following Comey's May 3rd, 2017 testimony, the president traveled to his resort in Bedminster, New Jersey. At a dinner on Friday, May 5th, attended by the president and various advisors and family leaders. And family members, including Jared Kushner and senior advisor Stephen Miller. The president stated that he wanted to remove Comey and alrighty. The president directed arguments and specific language for the letter, and Miller took notes. As reflected in those notes, the president told Miller that the letter should start with, while I greatly appreciate you in informing me that I am not under investigations. Oh, man. That the letter said, concerning what I have often stated is a fabricated story on a Trump-Russia relationship. Pertaining to the 2016 presidential election, please be informed that I followed... Okay. While I greatly appreciate you informing me that I am not under investigation concerning what I have often stated is a fabricated story on the Trump-Russia relationship, pertaining to the 2016 presidential election, be informed that I, and I believe the American public, including Democrats and Republicans, have less in you... Oh, man. I'm getting lost here, people. I'm sorry. President direct arguments for the letter, and Miller took notes. As reflected in the notes, the President told Miller that the Miller letter would start. Okay. He's not under investigation. The Trump-Russia relationship is a fabricated story pertaining to the 2016 presidential election. I believe the American public have lost faith in you as director of the FBI. And Trump claimed general public lost faith in Comey as FBI director. Following the dinner, Miller prepared a termination letter based on those notes and research he conducted to support the president's arguments. Over the weekend, the president provided several rounds of edits on the draft letter. Miller said the president was adamant that he not tell anyone at the White House that they were preparing because the president was worried about leaks. All righty, we have 841 here at the Voice of Stockton. We're on page 65 of the Mueller report, continuing to roll. Oh my. Put the lid on right. In his discussions with Miller, the president made clear that he wanted the letter to open with a reference to him not being under investigation. Miller said that he believed that fact was important to the president to show that Comey was not being terminated based on any such investigation. According to Miller, the president wanted to establish as a factual matter that Comey had been under a review period and did not have assurance from the president that he would be permitted to keep his job. The final version of the termination letter prepared by Miller and the president began in a way that was closely tracked what the president had directed to Miller at the May 5th dinner. Dear Director Comey, while I greatly appreciate you informing me on 3 separate occasions that I am not under investigation concerning the fabricated and politically motivated allegations of a Trump-Russia relationship, with respect to the 2016 presidential election, please be informed that I, along with members of both political parties, and most importantly, the American public, have lost faith in you as director of the FBI, and you are hereby terminated. The four-page letter went on to critique Comey's judgment and conduct, including his May 3rd testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee, his handling of the Clinton email investigation, and his failure to hold leakers accountable. The letter stated that Comey had asked the president at dinner shortly after inauguration to let Comey stay on in the director's role, and that the president said that he would consider it. But the president had concluded that he had no alternative but to find new leadership for the Bureau, a leader that restores confidence and trust. Let's see, we're on page 65. And page 65, Trump letter 5617, firing Comey and in the morning of Monday, May 8th, 2017, the president met in the Oval Office with senior advisors, including McGahn, Priebus, and Miller, and informed them that he had decided to terminate Comey. The president read aloud the first paragraphs of the termination letter he wrote with Miller and conveyed that the decision had been made and was not up for discussion. The president told the group that Miller had researched the issue and determined the president had the authority to terminate Comey without cause. In an effort to slow down the decision-making process, McGahn told the president that DOJ leadership was currently discussing Comey's status and suggested that the White House counsel's office attorneys should talk with Sessions and Rod Rosenstein, who had recently been confirmed as the Deputy Attorney General. McGahn said that previously scheduled meetings with Sessions and Rosenstein that day would be an opportunity to find out what they thought about firing Comey. And that was McGahn, 5817, Rosenstein, and was it Jeffrey? And Sessions. And McGahn said that previously scheduled meetings with Sessions and Rosenstein that day would be an opportunity. All righty. At noon, Sessions, Rosenstein, and Hunt met with McGahn and the White House counsel's office attorney, Uttam Dillian, in the White House. McGahn said that the president had decided to fire Comey and asked for Sessions and Rosenstein's views. Sessions and Rosenstein criticized Comey and did not raise concerns about replacing him. McGahn and Dillian said the fact that neither Sessions nor Rosenstein objected to replacing Comey gave them peace of mind that the president's decision to fire Comey was not an attempt to obstruct justice. An Oval Office meeting was scheduled later that day so that Sessions and Rosenstein could discuss the issue with the president. At around 5 p.m., the president and several White House officials met with Sessions and Rosenstein to discuss Comey. The president told the group that he had watched Comey's May 3rd testimony over the weekend and thought that something was not right with Comey. The president said that Comey should be removed and asked Sessions and Rosenstein for their views. Hunt, who was in the room, recalled that Sessions responded that he had previously recommended that Comey be replaced. McGahn and Dillian said Rosenstein described his concerns about Comey's handling of the Clinton email investigation. Oh my. McGahn wanted Comey fired, and who are the others there? Okay. The president then distributed copies of the termination letter that he had drafted with Miller, and the discussion turned to the mechanics of how to fire Comey and whether the president's letter should be used. McGahn said that McGahn and Dillian urged the president to permit Comey to resign, but the president was adamant that he be fired. The group discussed the possibility that Rosenstein and Sessions could provide a recommendation in writing that Comey should be removed. The president agreed and told Rosenstein to draft a memorandum, but said he wanted to receive the first thing the next morning. Hunt's notes reflect that the president and Rosenstein to include in his recommendation the fact that Comey had refused to confirm that the president was not personally under investigation. According to the notes taken by the senior DOJ official of the Rosenstein's description of his meeting with the president said, but the Russia stuff in the memo. Rosenstein responded that the Russia investigation was not the basis of his recommendation, so he did not think Russia should be mentioned. The president told Rosenstein that he would appreciate it if Rosenstein put his letter away. When Rosenstein left the meeting, he knew that Comey would be terminated, and he told DOJ colleagues that his own reasons for replacing Comey were not the president's reasons. All right, folks. And read through page 67, resume on page 68. All right. All righty, folks. Detailed stuff. Of all that's crossing all the T's. I mean, it's really hammering it home. This has just been mainly on March 3rd through May 9th, Trump versus Comey, and all the details. Okay, this is May 3 through 9, Trump versus Comey, and it's pretty much to end the Russia investigation. That's all it was about. And that was the obstruction of justice. Alrighty, with that, folks, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm going to do a little probe here. We're on page 68 now, and there's still a lot. There are many weeks. There's many hours left. Okay, so we're not going to be finishing up the next session. No. There's far beyond that. So more to come. I got a life, and so it's a pleasure to get back to this. And what was that little dark wave there? That was a light fluctuation. And that was my emblem. So, I'll be back. Tuesday we work a half day. Wednesday we got the day off. And last New Year's, I couldn't get the Rose Bowl on TV. That's weird. When you can't get the Rose Bowl on TV on New Year's Day because you don't pay for it. I mean, I own the TV, but they don't broadcast. It's a pay-per-view. Wah! So why stick around the house? The parade's great. I love the Rose Parade. I've seen it live 3 times. Beautiful. Go. If you ever chance to go to the Rose Parade, go. And you don't sit there at the corner. You get about a mile or 2 down, or about 3 miles down, because it's a 7-mile length. And you could be, 3 rows in. Real easy. You just stand on the curb or stand on the sidewalk, and it just marches right on by in front of you. So I lived in South Pasadena for 3.5 years. So that kind of helps. It's walking distance, So, hey, be seeing you before the new year. Take care. Let me wrap things up here. All righty. This is the voice of Stockton. That was episode 26 of the Mueller Report. Let me put the kibosh on the recorder. I don't need that. And that clicky clap. And down here with the big stop and wampa. Boom. Alrighty. And I'm going to just kind of turn it back over to the radio DJ. Get going there. And it's a Selena mix going at the moment.
Cuatro.